part 2 of the extrude and revolve tutorial for OnShape. So in our previous video we covered creating this box with a lid using the extrude tool, where we were just pulling two-dimensional shapes directly into 3 dimensions. Now that works great for boxy parts, but if you've got a part like this one where it has radial symmetry and it's got this taper to it, for example, I can always create a cylinder by, let's create a new part studio here. I can always draw a circle and use the extrude tool to drag that circle up into 3 dimensions, but that's going to create a cylinder where these vertical walls are parallel all the way up. If I want any kind of cone-shaped object with radial symmetry, that'd be really tricky using the extrude tool, because what shape would I pull directly up to create this? In fact, I'd have to have a stack of infinitely thin, slightly larger diameter circles stacking up to make this. So the extrude tool really would not be appropriate for creating this style cup. Instead, we're going to use the Revolve tool, which is an amazing tool for creating any kind of round part, any kind of part that has radial symmetry. So instead of drawing a circle and dragging it up, we have to think a little differently with the Revolve tool. So if, for example, we create a sketch on our front plane, and let's start with just a simple rectangle. If I have a rectangle in 2 dimensions, and I choose to revolve that rectangle about this vertical line, if we just took that rectangle and spun it around that axis, we get a cylinder. Now I just showed you another way to make a cylinder that is maybe easier, extruding a circle, right? But if, for example, our, if, for example, instead of a rectangle that's vertical, like that, if we had a shape that had a taper from top to bottom, that's our shape instead. When we go to revolve that about this vertical axis, that taper is also revolved. And so right off the bat, we can see how we might make a tapered or cone-shaped thing using the Revolve tool. The Revolve tool can be an excellent tool for this reason. So let's go ahead and get started trying to create the basic shape for this cup. So if you notice, when we look at the cup from the front, its basic shape is sort of this trapezoidal shape where it's got a narrower bottom than the top. If we look from sort of the top, you can see that it's been hollowed out partly. Now in the last video, we did that in 2 steps by extruding a big box and then removing some of its insides. With the Revolve tool, we can actually do this in just 1 step. So let's create a sketch on the front plane, and we're going to think about what our cup would look like if we were to slice it in half. So if we were to slice this in half using the section view tool or Shift X, you'll see that our cup, right, this face that's shown here in yellow, has a bottom that goes all the way across, and it goes up to the sides, but there's empty space in between. So if I started by drawing the overall trapezoidal shape of our cup, we won't even worry about dimensions for now, and revolving it about that central axis, what I get is generally the shape I'm looking for, but it's not hollowed out. And I can't simply extrude a circle to hollow it out, because if I were to do that, you'll notice my walls are really thick at the top and they get really thin at the bottom. In fact, I've broken through the walls at the bottom. So unfortunately our circle, well, I didn't get it centered. Our circle has vertical walls, but the outer part has tapered walls, and so we're not getting quite the shape we want. So we're going to think about how can we use the Revolve tool a little more cleverly to get this hollowed out cup. What we can do is, in our original sketch, right, we can start to apply some dimensions, and we can say that we have something resembling this as our desired sketch. I'm going to hit M for the trim tool and slice away these 2 lines. So this is more the general shape we want. You'll notice we've hollowed out the middle by having just a solid form that goes from the center all the way across and then up to the sides. So when we revolve that shape, in fact, if we show it, here's the shape that we spun around this central axis right here, and it resulted in that hollowed out cup. You can kind of picture, right, anything that touches that central axis is going to become solid at the bottom, and anything that's got a gap from that central axis is going to leave a hole before it's revolved. So let's go ahead and apply some dimensions to give this cup, about the shape and size we want. We might want a floor thickness that's pretty thin. Let's go 2 or 3 millimeters. We'll say 0.3 for now. And of course it resized our cup in a way that I'm not crazy about. You'll also notice that these two lines aren't constrained to being parallel. That's no big deal. We can come over to our constraints and just select parallel, or hit B, and just click on the two lines. So now they're fixed at parallel. So we've got a couple more things to set. We've got to figure out what angle we want, how tall we want this to be, as well as how far out we want the cup to stick. So remember that what we're looking at is just about a quarter view. So if we were to measure from this point to this point and say we want that to be 2 centimeters across, that's going to result in a cup bottom diameter of 4 centimeters because it's going to get revolved all the way around, and we'll see this line again on this side. That's totally fine. I think 4 centimeters is perfectly good. Let's think about how thick we want this wall to be. We're going to go ahead and say maybe 3 millimeters again. And we've got to decide still, right, the angle we want this taper to have, how tall we want the cup to be, and how wide we want it to stick at the top. Really want to decide 2 of those things. So maybe we want to specify an angle for these walls. Now right now it's about 75 degrees. If we want it to be a little bit steeper, we might say something like 80 degrees. I think that looks great. And the last thing we've got to specify is how high up does this go. So the overall height of our cup, let's just click on this line and dimension all the way to the bottom, and maybe we want a cup that's 5 centimeters tall. At this point our sketch is black, so we fully dimensioned out the parameters for our cup. I think I want a little bit steeper angle, so I can change that to 75 degrees, and we will call this cup profile. So this is the section view of our cup that gets revolved. So if you hadn't done that, you could always select your cup profile sketch, click the revolve tool, and just tell it by clicking here what revolve axis you want to use. In this case, we're going to use the vertical axis that touches the center line. At this point, we've created a nice, hollow, sort of trash can shaped cup. We're starting to resemble what it is that we're trying to make in this tutorial. That looks great. Now, if we cut this, you'll notice the cup lid here has that same kind of feature where there's a little inner part that's going to click against the walls and prevent this from just sliding off the top. Now, unlike the last lid where everything was vertical or horizontal, our cup has tapered walls, and we want to maintain that same angle when we design the inside of the lid so that this line follows the angle of the wall. You'll notice the lid also follows the angle of the cup in this way. It's not just suddenly going straight up in the air, which would look kind of awkward. So let's go back to our Part Studio, and what I'm going to do is unhide this sketch because it's going to be really useful for us to be able to look at that sketch. And what we might do is rename this as cup and actually hide the object, because when we create our lid, we want to create our lid based on that same profile. So we're going to make a new sketch on the front plane, hit N for normal, and we're going to come in and using the line tool or hitting L, draw the basic idea of what we want our lid to look like. So we know we want it to start down below the top surface of the cup so that some of it extends down into the cup. We're going to come across horizontally. We're going to roughly follow the angle of the walls of the cup. We'll come out a little bit horizontally. We'll follow that angle of the wall of the cup again, and then we'll cut straight across, and this will be the top surface of our lid, and then we'll have a vertical line down so that we end up with a solid piece for our lid. Now this is a really big chunky lid. It's only an approximation of what we want to make, but if we hit B or come over here and select the parallel tool, we can constrain so that this line is parallel to that line. So now our lid inner is going to follow the same exact angle of the outer. And we can do the same thing to say this parallel line, or these two are a set of parallel lines. In fact, not only that, but if we want them to line up on the outside of the cup, we don't want, I don't know why it's not letting me drag right now. I think OnShape's frozen. We'll talk in a minute about that. We want our lid to sit flush on the top of there, so we're going to use the coincident constraint, or hit I, and we can click once, twice. When OnShape finishes loading, hopefully, it will snap those two lines together so that our lid bottom is touching our cup top. I'm going to hit check to save my changes and refresh the page because it looks like OnShape is having a little bit of trouble for some reason at the moment. It looks like we lost our sketch and our changes were not saved. That's okay. We'll just quickly recreate that same basic sketch using the line tool. So we came over horizontally, up a little bit, over again, up at an angle, over to the side, and down. And then we used the parallel constraint to make sure both those sets of lines were parallel. We also, this line, we want to make sure the outer edge of our lid lines up perfectly with the outer edge of our cup. So that's where we can use our coincident tool to say that this line and this line are actually collinear. They're right on top of each other. We're going to use that same tool to say that the bottom edge of our lid is the same as the top edge of our cup. And now we've got to think about, if we were to make this line exactly on that yellow line there, we would have no clearance for our lid to get down inside the cup. So instead, we're going to use the D for dimension tool and specify a little bit of a gap in between these. Now, I've found that about 0.3 millimeters across the diameter of two circles will give you a nice snug fit when 3D printed. So we're going to say 0.15 millimeters because whatever the gap is on this side, we'll see that gap again on this side. Right? So we only have to specify half of the clearance we want. The last things we've got to dimension are how far down inside the cup should this lid part stick, and we're going to go ahead and just say 3 millimeters, as well as how far above the top edge of the cup should the upper part of the lid stick. And let's say we want a nice 4 millimeter top right there. We'll call this sketch lid profile. And if we look at it, this is the shape we're going to spin around this central axis to result in a lid. So if we have our sketch selected and we choose the Revolve tool, we have to specify the revolve axis. That's going to be this one. And we want to make sure we have new selected. We'll call this lid and hit check. We can rename it down here by hitting Shift N. And if we unhide our cup, we'll see we now have two parts. One is a lid, one is a cup, and if we look directly from the front, our lid exactly matches the continuation of our cup, which is great. That's what we wanted. If we use Shift X to slice this part in half about the front plane, we can look inside and verify there is some clearance. Our lid extends down into the cup just a little bit, and that we're sitting flush on the top and sides. That looks great. Now, just like before, we could go ahead and create some D-shaped grabber spots for the top of our lid as one way to make this easier to remove. And so we could always do that by creating a sketch on the top plane of the lid. And we'll just quickly draw in that similar shape that we did last time. I believe it was 1.5 centimeters by 2, and it was 5 millimeters from the center line with a circular outer. We used the mirror tool to mirror our geometry about that center line, and we'll call those slots. Just like before, we're going to use the extrude tool to remove those slots all the way through our lid. We'll call those slots. And now what we've got, these maybe are a little too big in my opinion, so let's modify this. Instead of 1.5, let's make them 1 by 1.5. That looks a little better. If we wanted to, we could go in and click on each of these vertical edges to use the fillet tool to round out the interior corners a little bit. It's going to result in better print quality. I think 2 millimeters is great. And just like before, we could choose to select this whole face and chamfer it to give just a little bit of a nice polished look to the top of our lid. We could also include in that chamfer the bottom surface of our cup. And so that results in just a little bit of a more interesting polished look for our cup and lid. If we cut this in half now, we can verify everything looks good to go. And now we've used the Revolve tool to create two separate parts that are related to each other. The Revolve tool is just awesome, like I said, for any time you've got radial symmetry in a part. So thanks for watching, and I hope this helped.